Very, very good.
Okay.
A little unexpected.
Well, there we go. Happy
There we go.
Happy Wednesday from London town. Here I am in.
Oh, in London. Oh, that's what now? I thought plans fell through.
No, plans fell through for me to have a social evening tonight with some friends in London, and so I was like, well, I've got the evening free, and so I thought, why don't we do a recording from a hotel in London as we have before. Previously, remember, I was in a place where like there was these crazy red lights. It felt like I was in Amsterdam, a prostitute. And now I'm not so much. But yeah, I just wanted to, while the finale of DTF was high on our minds, I wanted to get that discussed. But also, also I've done some. I have some things to talk about from my visit to London. That
oh, good. Well, let's see what's on my list. I could
Did
talk
you go to the
about
hardware store?
Swollen river. I could talk about the swollen rivers again, but not much to report. That's it. I've got a low key. You sound eager. Let's
I went to well, hold on. Let's see. I flew in on Saturday midday, and I booked. So there's this podcast that I listen to that's based in the UK called The Bugle, where they it was originally started by this British comedian and also with his friend John Oliver, who has gone on to other things, but it's this weekly podcast where the host Andy Zaltzman and a collection of other comedians from around the world sort of go through the news. It's sort of Daily Show kind of SNL sort of thing where it's just comedians talking about what happened in the news and making jokes about it.
Yeah. Being funny.
But because they have like 20, maybe there's like a dozen guest comedians that are on the typical roster that come on. And at the end of every show, the comedians are given the chance to like plug whatever shows they're going to be doing in late soon. And never ever is it in a place that I could possibly be. But this time, one of the comedians by the name of Tiff Stevenson, who I've been listening to on this podcast for a long time and have generally been following, said, hey, I'm going to be doing a show in London on April 11th and at the Soho Theatre, and feel free to come out. And it just so happened that I was going to be in London this week, and I could adjust my flights so that I could attend that particular show with some friends that I often stay with in London. And then I have gone to a couple times. We've gone out to, and I've mentioned this before, to see some stand-up in London. And so I decided to book that. And so because I follow this comedian on Twitter, and she was promoting her show, I responded and I said, hey, I'm going to come see you I've already bought my tickets to see you on the 11th. And and I'm coming all the way from Spain. And she like retweeted that to her followers, being like, "Look, people are coming all the way from Spain to see me," which is super cool.
That's funny.
And so we went. So I flew in, and then we went to the show, and this was on Saturday, April 11th, and we got there, and they were like, "Okay, show us your tickets." And I opened up the email that had the confirmation thing, and I showed it, and they were like, "I'm sorry, you bought tickets for Friday the 10th."
Yesterday?
The previous day, which she gave a previous show the previous day. And I was like, fuck, because like I bought really nice like seats right in front of the stage, and they were like, yeah, sorry. And I was like, okay, well, oh well, we fucked that. And but the people at the theater were like, hold on. If you pay us a £5 like I'm sorry fee, we can totally get you in tonight with like potentially even better seats. And but this was like, so the way this particular theater works, and this is my second time there, but like if your show is at 7:15 and you get there at 7:10, they're like, no, you have to go mingle out at the bar until like 7:14, in which case we will announce everyone, okay, come in and fill the theater. Like they have this like, it's really this really well oiled machine.
Discipline.
Yeah. And so like they called the thing, and that's when I went and I discovered that no, we were late. And also I had like, because when you buy tickets, they allow you to like pre-order drinks that will be like delivered to your table when you're there. And they were like, yeah, so yeah, they said, while I figured out this thing to get you new tickets to go in today, why don't you go over to the bar and show your name and explain the fact that you bought these drinks for last night, and maybe they will let you have them. And so I went to the bar and I was like, hey, we bought these for last night. And they went and they looked in their computer and beep, boom, boom, and they were like, yeah, there were like 3 drinks that like no one showed up for last night. I remember that because I was here. Here, let me just give them to you. And so like they didn't have to do any of that. They could have just been like, you fucking asshole, fuck off, you fucked up, get out. But they were like,
almost predictable that would happen,
right? But they were so kind and they were so malleable, and they put us right next to the stage to the point where, like, this comedian like came up and just totally made like eye contact with me a bunch of times. And this is a person that
say, I'm the one from Spain.
Well, this is the person that I've been a fan of for a while. And I did not. But then after the show, she said, I'm going to be out at the bar. Come say hi. And so on our way out, like we bumped into her, and I definitely said, hey, remember the guy from Twitter that said I was coming from Spain? It's me. And she was like, hey, cool. So like I took a selfie with her, and then I tweeted that, and she retweeted that, and just a beautiful.
You're getting your 15 minutes, man.
Like
your 15 minutes of fame. Your Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, but also, like she pointed out, hey, I'm doing this show tonight for, like, she said almost 100 people, and I looked around and I was like, there's like 50 people here that have paid $12 each. So I like, if assuming the venue is letting you do this to take all the profits from the drinks. You're making
no, not the drinks. No,
well,
no, you'd get the door. You could get 100% of the door.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. No. Like she would get 100% of the door, and the drinks go to the venue.
Yeah.
But like so like she's not making a lot of money doing this, but she's
no. And plus, it's gotta. You don't know whether there's two things that go along with that. One, transportation costs. And if so, then that's a big deal, and or a hotel night, and
she lives in London. She's
well, there you go.
So, but yeah, it's
So was she funny?
She was good. She wasn't the most amazing. Like, I enjoyed a lot of her act, but she did this thing that comedians try to do where they try and thread in like politics a little bit, where like some of her jokes were about farts and some of them were about like how do we, like, why is it okay for women to be pole dancers, and like how is that like, and it was I would go again, and I'm still a fan, but it wasn't.
But she is not. Or am I wrong? She's a stand-up comic who's now doing a podcast. So not that she's a podcaster who's gone into stand-up.
No. So she talks about like in her show. She talked about how, like, she's a 50-year-old pretty blonde woman who talks about when she was young and she was in her 20s, like one of her jobs was to be one of the hot girls that stands around in the Formula One race cars things, just looking hot and like pointing at the cars and shit, right? But like she doesn't. She's grateful for that. It's not like she thinks, "Oh, women shouldn't be objectified like that."
Doesn't it make it harder for her to be funny? Isn't it harder for attractive women to be funny as stand-up comics?
She would find that statement hilarious. She talks about part of her thing was she was out with a couple of her hot girlfriends and an average-looking guy when they were at the race at Monaco, and how they went to a club where there were like super famous people and like some of the drivers and stuff were in the club, and she and her hot girlfriends walked up with their guy friend, and the girls were just like escorted directly into the club and served free drinks, and their guy friend had to like pay a bunch of money to get into the club, and then ordered a drink that was really expensive while they were just like having free shit. And she talked about how when you're young and hot and pretty woman, you can just like manifest this shit into the world and like get free shit. And
the way she said that was funny.
Yes, and
self-deprecating.
Yes, but and then she pivoted into like what it's like to go through menopause. Like it was that sort of like.
Is she?
She's
40,
50-ish.
Oh, I pictured her very young.
No, and
very young. How misunderstood.
I'll send you our selfie. But anyway, she was very good. But so that was a lovely evening. And then the next day, it's with my. This is like the third time that I've come to London and stayed with these friends, and every time, like, I will book some night out for us to do on Saturday night out in the city, which they rarely go out to the city because they live in the suburb. And then on the Sunday, I say, okay, you guys figure out what we can do to like do a relaxing Sunday after having a night out. And this time, they took me to do tourism at a cemetery, Highgate Cemetery, where there are some famous people buried there. And it was, in fact, yeah, so one of the famous people buried there that is early on the little tour when you're walking around is Douglas Adams. The author of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He's like a nerd hero.
Andrew, like Andy Weir.
Like Andy Weir, but Andy Weir Andy Weir worships Douglas Adams. I guarantee you.
Well, I'm at chapter 6 as a footnote, just as a footnote.
Only. Okay. So and another person buried there is George Michael. Sadly,
the pop star.
Yes, but another famous person buried there is, I would argue, the person that has most affected world politics in the last 1,000 years. Who can you imagine has changed? Yeah, like
politics.
Politics.
Most?
Yes.
Since when to when? Till to date?
I said the last 1,000 years, but let's say the last 500 years.
Donald Trump and George Washington in that order.
No. Name the global superpowers. The top 3.
China, Russia, United States.
Yes. And what do 2 of those have in common?
They're 2 communist countries.
And where did communism come from?
Communism came from God.
I'm referring to a bloke named Karl Marx.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure his ideas have are responsible for
Mao?
all of communism.
And affected Mao's beliefs and was his inspiration.
I'm just saying, if you had to trace the world politics, like someone that had the most effect over it, like, yeah, I think
Marx.
I think Karl Marx wins. So anyway, he's buried there because he lived in London his last few years and
he was
and died here. Yes, he wrote Marxist, all the
poetry.
workers.
Marxist poetry.
Well, all the like workers should seize the means of production, etc., like that caused all of communism. But so anyway, but what I want to share is the sensation of walking around this really important cemetery that was packed. Like the gravestones were like almost leaning up against each other. There were so many gravestones there. And every single one of them was someone who was really, really important, and important enough in their death, in their life, to have been buried in this important place. And like they were all rich people or children of rich people or rich families. And I didn't know a single, none of them rang a bell. Like I didn't know who any of them were.
Well, you could spend a lot of time finding out. My God.
Yes, and I did. I spent some.
So tell me the name of it again.
Highgate Cemetery.
Highgate.
Highgate.
Like
yes, because it's yes. But
wait, a high gate.
Yes. It's hard to get in. But
you know what though? People are dying to get in there.
I made that joke. But
on site.
And
how'd it go over? Probably not well.
Well, everyone was like, "Yep." But the philosophical realization of these were the most important, richest people, and 100 years have passed, and no one gives a fuck who they were,
except for the ones you named.
Except for
you're talking vast majority.
Yeah, 3 out of
crowded
10,000. Yes, and so it was just a humbling realization of like just how little of how little importance our life is.
So, did you get a plot there? Did you try to get a plot there?
I don't know what that would even possibly cost. No.
Who cares? It's for eternity.
No, actually, it isn't. It isn't. It's for like 75 years. No, and then
they turn them over.
A lot of the graves, most of the graves were less than 100 years old, which means that like you're only good there for a little bit, and then you're out. Which is true of most cemeteries. Like
what? That they bury somebody else in your spot? What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're
like rental space, and then they bury over the top of them.
Yeah,
and put up another headstone in the same spot, or take the other one down.
Yeah.
That's why they're not. That's why they're like leaning against each other, because multiple bodies, really deep ones, not semi-deep ones, and ones close to the surface, and then one on top, maybe covered with rocks. So coyotes want to get them, and you got to have 4 bodies stacked up, right?
You can't, like, the math doesn't work out for, like, let's see. In my wife's family, there was an uncle who died, and he had his place in the cemetery for 11 years, and then it's like we gotta, like there's not a lot of space here. Like we gotta make space for the new dead people, and then you're out. Like
that's foreign to me. All these years. 72 years on the planet, and I've never heard of this before.
But, like, I guess that's maybe a European thing, because in America, there's just so much freaking land. But, like, I don't think Arlington Cemetery has infinite land space, right? So, like, if you, like, in a special place like Arlington, there's going to be some reuse of space. But...
Did you ever see by the clip of or the narrative, the description of Jackie Onassis walking Arlington with her brother-in-law Robert Kennedy and Teddy and a host of important executive branch people that ran such things, and they had a spot picked out for JFK's memorial, and she walked over to it and pulled the stake out of the ground in like high heels, but low high heels, walking in the grass wobbly, and walked up a small hill and went to a place where the view was magnificent and put the stake in the ground. And that's exactly how that happened.
No, but if that is remotely true, I will find a YouTube.
Oh, I know where to find it. I know where to find it. Look at the Natalie Portman movie, Jackie.
Okay, hold on.
You will see this scene reenacted.
Reenactment is one thing, but okay.
I said it's a narrative. It's a story.
Narrative. Okay.
Yes, and it's a well-known story. And if you want to see it in a believable fashion, then the place to see that is there, because what she does, to my knowledge, is word for word, motion by motion, what actually happened. Anyway, I just jumped in because you said Arlington. I don't know, man.
Okay, so let's
freewheeling, man. Where were we?
I have a quick story from today involving cocktails, and but let's do DTF first, maybe.
No, tell me the cocktails. Let's roll with the anecdotes.
Okay, so I left work today. So this week I've been working at my company's office in a skyscraper on the 24th floor with views of London. And for lunch every day, we go up to the 39th floor with proper views of London. And so today I finished work. My work colleagues tend to get into work at like 10:30 in the morning, whereas I tend to get into work at like 8:30. But like my pass to get into the building doesn't let me in until like 8:45. I learned this morning. With skyscrapers, you have to like, depending on your floor, there's a different elevator that you need, right? And so today I got off work and I came back and I left my laptop and stuff in my room, and I went out for a walk to go and just walk around I'm in the like skyscraper region of London called Canary Wharf. And I was just walking around.
It's near water? It's near water?
Yes, there's it's where there used to be a lot of docklands and like shipping stuff, but it has since been converted into the like financial district where all the banks and skyscrapers and shit are. But I was walking around, and I had a beer at a place, and then I was walking, and I noticed this place called, it's some stupid name like The Cocktail Bar. But I had this flashback to like 3 years ago when I had been out partying with some people after a conference, and they had somehow brought us to this place, and I remembered, oh shit, this is where I was when I it was like super late at night, and it was like a lot of thumpa music, but like I had a really important connection with a friend that I made that night, yelling over the thumpa, and I thought, oh wow, this is cool. So I went in just to remind myself of that. Is this really the place? And the guy at the door was like, "Yo, man, you got some ID?"
Got some what?
Some ID. And I was like, actually I don't, because now when I travel, I leave my wallet in my hotel room, because I pay everything with my phone or my watch. Like, I don't carry my wallet around at all. And but I was like,
You
yeah,
don't have
actually,
ID on it?
No, I don't carry ID.
But no, you don't have ID on your phone?
Well, I said, hold on. On my phone, I can go and access my cloud document folder where I have a PDF of my passport that I can show you. But that
Smart.
But that took like 2 minutes to download. And like while I'm downloading it, he's like, I bet in your phone, like in your photo roll, you probably have a photo of your passport. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I don't, because like I scan my passport into a PDF and I keep it like in this documents thing. But anyway, I finally, after like 2 minutes of watching the little thing like fill up, and I was like, he was all about ready to just be like, no man, you can just go in. But no, I said, no, hold on, it's almost done. So I showed him the scan of my passport. So I walk in, and I'm looking through the menu of extremely expensive fucking cocktails, and I was like, like I've seen the place now. I might just leave, but like I just made this whole like thing about coming in and
but
through
it's
the doorman.
On the 39th floor?
No. This is not on the. This is like just a bar in the region
where you were before the thump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was looking around through the menu, and I was like, fuck it. This is just for old time's sake, to remember having been in this place. I said, yo, let me have an old fashioned. And the guy was like, okay, because it's happy hour, we've got a 2-for-1. No, we've got a, like, you can have one old fashioned for $16, or you can have 2 old fashions for $17.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you.
I'll have 2, please.
Yeah, right. And so I was like, I really only want the one, but he was like, well,
why didn't you get a double? Why didn't you just tell him to make it a double?
I don't. That didn't occur to me. So he said, look, why don't I make you one, and then you can come back in a little bit, and you can have the second one. And so I was like, I don't really want 2 fucking old fashions, but with this extortion price, fuck it. And so,
well, $8 a drink isn't terrible.
No, it isn't. But
if you got to buy 2, though.
But 15 for 1 is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I was like, yeah, fine. So he made me one, and I said, so later I can come back and like wink at you and you'll remember me. And he was like, I got you. And so the way they do everything here in England is they immediately charge you. Like they don't, in Spain, they serve you, and then you are responsible for coming back to remind them what you ordered and pay. But here they're like, no, you're going to need to pay before we give you, which is fine. And so I had one, and I sat outside, and I had a nice time, and then I.
What was the weather like?
It was chilly but sunny. Like I had a
what
jacket on.
What time of day is this? I pictured it at night. I'm wrong again.
Well, no, it was like at 6:30 p.m. It was still plenty of light.
Till 8.
Pre-sunset, yeah. So anyway, but it was just this like ridiculous. Like they forced me to have 2 cocktails when I really only wanted 1 because of this stupid fucking pricing.
They didn't force you.
They did.
They made it hard to turn down. At the end of the day, you still have free will. You are a child of God. So know that, the way that you feel about this, I understand your feeling. I understand your disregard for their policy. But I'll tell you what, you're a lot more fun after you've had 2 drinks than 1.
And here I am.
I'm all in.
I'm so much fun. Yes. So anyway,
what I got to know is why in this room you're in, there is a set of absolutely empty shelves behind you.
Yep.
That look totally naked. I mean, if you're in a hotel, why wouldn't they have sculptures or bric-a-brac of some kind there to brighten up the room instead of just being empty? I mean, what are you supposed to put there?
No,
Both sides, right?
This is the modern hotel room is there's barely space for a bed, and then they have this bathroom thing behind me is a prefab unit that they chunk into the corner of a rectangular room, but like I don't have. There's no space for me to put my suitcase, so like I sleep at night, spooning my fucking suitcase because.
Show me the room again. Spin it.
So there's my bed and my suitcase.
Well, wait a minute. Go backwards. Go back. What's that wall there?
That's a mirror.
Oh, I thought it was another room.
No, that's a mirror of my.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
yeah, mirrors play tricks on you, don't they?
Well, that's why they're there.
Exactly.
To make the room look bigger.
Yeah. So anyway, it's pretty freaking minimal, and like, but this thing that I have my computer set on is not a desk. It's like a thing that folds down from the wall because there's no room for my desk. It's pretty sad. Okay, we need to get to the important topic.
Oh, the topic of the day, yes.
And also Rooster. So like, let's.
Yeah, I'm only on episode 6 of Rooster, so you know that, right?
Yeah,
so
but
are you?
Yeah, but when I said the reveal, you were like,
it was, yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
yes,
yeah. So
right.
that's we're live on Rooster.
So let's just recall, and I'll tell my version of this. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that I said was that I think that it's a suicide, and I think somehow his son Richard is involved. Richard is the one who is riding the bike, and that proved to be exactly right. But here's the thing. That didn't matter all that much.
Yeah.
Because what really mattered was the scenery chewing, stripping, and dancing of poor, confused Forrest and poor, fucking confused fucking Floyd. 2 lonely men, sexually unclear in every way and wondering how they can exert, and they're sort of like 12-year-old boys where I remember when I was cute, and so are you going to show me your wing ding? That's what I was waiting for. I mean, I thought that it was very clever writing to talk about the legs, and it was a way to have them both undressed. But then the dancing that was going on, some of it was such fun. I mean, they were really enjoying themselves. And then, dude, Forrest was like, he might as well have said, man, I think I may be attracted to you sexually. I may be. I know I love you, and I don't know if does that mean that maybe I can watch you and become aroused? And the answer turns out to be no. And then, shock to me, I don't know about you, he went home to an empty house.
Very empty.
We had no indication what had happened to his family during this time, but for him to go to that empty house, sitting on that swing, and the way they did the camera shots with like stop camera motion, click, imagery, click, imagery, click, it was very, very different. And I knew that whether I really wanted to or not, I was going to see Floyd die. I was going to see Floyd take his last breath. There was no other place for this series to end but in that devastating hole of fucking death for fucking Floyd.
And it was just so, like, they had such a beautiful moment, an hour before his death, where they were telling each other, no, you're awesome. Well, yeah, just,
do you love yourself? No, not lately.
Yeah, no, not really.
And one of the things that transpired in that final episode was that the 7 episodes of a gnawing, increasing understanding that Forrest was very, very, very troubled. And never really, in just little short bursts of interviews, very quick answers, you get an idea of his version of very specific and very short duration events. But the gnawing feeling, then in that final episode, when you know that he's the surprise,
yeah,
and he says so, and you know that what he's got in mind is probably having some type of homosexual episode, because that's what he said.
Right.
He kind of implied it in a oh, you'd be surprised, and because it came to him that he could sit there and maybe he could be the one that would be aroused instead of Tiger, and as it turns out, it wasn't. And yet another thing that happened to Floyd, where just like Tiger, oh, that dude didn't work out, devastating to his ego.
Right.
And then now he's got the opportunity with his best friend who he loves, and the dude says, I ain't got it in that way.
Right.
That's leading to him take the drink. And you knew that when he poured the amount in it that he poured in it,
it really
that
felt
he had
that
already
way.
decided to kill himself.
Yeah.
He knew he it was his plan. He didn't know when, but he knew he wanted the option.
Right.
Maybe, at worst.
There's a really good argument to say that this entire thing is about Clark being selfish, and Clark pushing this DTF thing on Floyd, and Clark pushing the having the affair, and like on the one hand, Clark really does love Floyd, and they really do love each other. And also, what a great, we're mad at each other and we're men, so let's get together and shoot paintballs at each other, but we really love each other so much that we can't even do that.
Or something. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it was becoming almost like, what the fuck is going on? I mean,
yeah.
And, Forrest was selfish by being lavish because he satisfied his own need to make the affair with Carol cool so that he was helping with the insurance policy and every other thing. And so at the end of the day, Forrest is the more complicated character and the more twisted character. Floyd is pretty much you see what you get. But Forrest, unpredictable. The shit that he made up about the explosive company, the underwater explosion company,
just
to impress her.
Yeah. And
they call me the Big Blast,
the Boom Boom Man or whatever. Yeah. How tragic is the boy, and how first of all, okay, couple things. Just the beauty of him coming home from school that day. Just delighted that people actually thought that bicycle was cool or whatever, and Carol experiencing that, and then literally the night before Floyd dies, Floyd they get to show him all his new furniture, and just how fucking pleased he is with that, and just happy until kind of questionable writing to have the idea that your laptop that your kid logs into, you're going to leave the TTF website open on, but whatever.
I don't know.
People are lazy, I guess, but
and stupid.
Yeah, but but also that kid is messed up for life after this, because
But he didn't cause his father's suicide, and
try and tell someone that has cycled away on the morning that it happened, when he could have gone back and trying to talk to him. That's a hard thing to.
It was in reaction to his son's a verbal assault. He did chug the rest of the drink.
Yeah.
He might not have.
Exactly.
He was putting his clothes on.
True.
He had his pants partly on. And so one might say that without that verbal assault, in fact, his son at the window was a frozen frame of him with one leg in his trousers. So he wasn't planning on staying around and drinking the rest of that. He was going home. And one would think then that he wasn't going to chug it until his son, in absolute shock and awe, said that to him. And then he thought, and the prior scene, which was the planted seed, was when he finally told the story of how his dick broke.
Right.
With his son taking a baseball bat to his dick. And his look of utter Floyd-ness, saying, I cannot tell you how much I love that boy.
Right, exactly.
You know, and so I thought some excellent screenplay. And I gotta tell you, man, I've never seen either of these guys act as well as they did in this. And Carol wasn't anything to sneeze at. I loved it when she said, for about the fourth but the final time, speak up, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And the detective, what was the detective's name?
Plum.
Christine?
I think.
Plum. She said,
she was like, you fucking heard me.
No, she didn't swear.
No.
You heard me perfectly fine.
Yeah. And two other things. The beauty of the son saying that he thought his father said rock on. Oof. That hurts.
Which was misinterpreted as meaning what exactly?
Well, because, rock on is like, yeah, with the horns. Whereas I love you in sign language is this.
I know, but for the dad to say rock on, what would that message have been? Like, this is all real cool.
He didn't know.
Dancing in my underwear.
Yeah, he didn't know. He was just it didn't calculate with him.
He did this.
The other beautiful part of the final episode was learning what an angel Carol was as an umpire, and how Queese, poor 15-year-old Queese, the paper person, loved, just appreciated how she chose to bend the rules and to support the kids when they struck out and shit, and just what a humanist umpire she was. Just not really understanding anything about the game, but just caring like a mother would.
So the weirdest scene in the final episode with Carol, and coupled with another scene, gave me the best insight that I'd ever had of her, along the lines of you talking about her being a good mother. The scene was in the kitchen.
Yes.
She finally bought all the stuff, and she was doing a song and a dance.
Yes.
She couldn't have been happier. And then, when she made the room up and she sat on the bed, you realized that in spite of every other weird thing about her, at the end of the day, she just wanted this boy to be happy.
She wants to support her family, however that is, and she didn't in a way she's kind of perfect for Floyd in this selfless, I just want other people to be happy way, that it's a shame that didn't work out, right?
Well, and
because Clark is a selfish kind of guy.
It's so sad. It is a tragedy in the deepest sense.
It's so fucking dark.
Fucking Clark swinging on the swing, click in front of his empty house, having admitted that the other thing that he likes to do when he's on the swing set is not just look at the girl and her ass on the blanket, but also the man.
Yeah.
And conjectures to Floyd, maybe I just like to see him too. He is so confused. He is so very, very, very confused. And the thing that we understand now in a way that we didn't was the meaning of his freezing in his warm-up and his preview of the weather report.
Oh, what is it?
Where he froze.
You know what that means
then
now?
He did the jiu-jitsu thing, which, as you pointed out, portrays itself in the opening.
Karate, yes. What?
Right, which,
what? So what does that mean?
All opening. What's that?
You say you know what that means now?
I know this, that it was a harbinger of this guy is really off.
He is that.
He's really, really off. And the dynamite description, after he was told you can walk free, him saying,
Yeah, no, that was me.
No, that was me. And then the story
That was a
we
great
hear,
moment.
and his lawyer's like, "What the fuck you say?"
And I love the detectives coming together and being like, "So did we just
porch?
team?" Well, no, that's the very last scene. But to just say, did we just team up to like not solve this murder? Because like they spent all this time and all these assumptions, and then they came together and they were like, well, I can prove that your suspect didn't do it, and you can prove that my suspect didn't do it. So here we are. And then like brilliant writing where they came to Clark and they were like, well, until we figure out who that was, you're good to go. And for him to just be like, yeah, that was me. It's like, so
let's cut to
so
the chase. He probably decided he didn't want to hang it over his head all this time. But then they interviewed Richard, and then story over. I thought the Richard Jenkins turn of liking the bra in the right light, he said. There's something about lingerie in exactly the right light that I like a lot. And she said, "You are so fucking normal that you are a freak."
What a beautiful way to end it, with those two talking about
right.
And the whole, like, the title of the final episode was the phrase of everyone looks normal from across the street or whatever, which is so great.
Right. Well, and I love the last scene with Skarsgård with Comfort Love or whatever his name was, where Modern Love, where he described the moment that he had with potential imitation Tiger,
right?
Was just skating and holding hands. That's all.
Yep.
And it was very warm and very unexpected.
Beautiful.
And how Jenkins, or what detective's name? How he reacted to it.
Well, and then how Modern Love was like, so when was the last time you held hands? And the detective was like, I don't know, with my wife a couple years ago. It was like, damn, like.
Yeah. So I want to jump to Rooster. Stay at the entertainment desk,
please.
And then I got to skip. So the standout part of it, they're done very well with titles of their episodes.
Oh, I haven't even paid attention. Okay.
Well, what's the title of this last episode?
I haven't paid attention to the titles.
It's what you wrote me.
Is it? Hold on.
Yes.
It is. Well, yeah, okay. Cop Hawk.
Yes.
Yes.
And you didn't know that, but you wrote me and you.
No, I guess I did. the cop is a stand-up comic that I'm a fan of. Who is hilarious, but yes, cop. and
Cop.
the fact that they're in New England made all those jokes so good. But anyway, yes, continue.
What great direction and acting for it to be so fast paced and clippy and just funny as can be. But so the cop is married to or the former husband of that was his son was on the hockey team.
Rory Scovel is the actor.
Tommy's mother is the president's secretary's son.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Like what a great I love it when you like build up all these characters and then you're just like, oh yeah, these two are connected in a way that is important. And what a great way to find that out. Like great scene.
I got one story to tell you.
Okay.
So Mojo Riot played at the Old Dog Tavern the other night.
Yep.
And we worked our butt off to get people there. And when you get 30 people there, the place looks pretty lively, but the bar only breaks even.
Okay.
And so I worked out a deal with them that if they get another $1,000 worth of business, I got another $50. And if they get another $1,000 worth of business, I got another $50. And we ended up getting 55 people in there. And so it was full and it was rocking. And we ended up doing, as planned, the venue, Old Dog, said, we want you to play 8 to 11. We did that once, and I said, dudes, you make more money 7 to 8 than you do from 10 to 11. So we're going to play at 7. It's better for us. And if the place is rocking at 10, we'll play. And in fact, our playbill said 7 p.m. till ? And it said after that, till you make us stop. And so we prepared, for the first time, a fourth set, a full 8 songs. And when we came to the end of the third set, we picked our closer, which is the Slash's version of Papa Was a Rolling Stone, which is worth putting in the footnote.
No, you mentioned that, and I have.
And which these guitarists just fucking kill. But here's the funny thing that happened. On the way to that, we ended up playing for another 40 minutes. 2 encores. Fun. But on the way to that, somewhere in that mix, they started to play I Ain't Drunk by Albert Cummings, I should say. And unlike every other time we've done it, the head lead musician, the lead guitar player, my son-in-law Justin, he said, I don't want the harps. I don't want the call and response on the harps. We're just going to open up with guitar and then the lyrics. You got it?
Uh-huh.
And I had my harp in my hand. I'd never done it that way. I never remember even hearing about it that way. And I thought, well, it's not hard not to play the harp. So I didn't. And we got into, and it was electric. It was higher. I don't know. I don't know why he would do that. I like the harp back and forth. But anyway, I do what I'm told. Then he got into a solo. Him and the other guitar player going back and forth. Well, for whatever reason in God's green earth, I did not recognize that he was in a solo. And I knew it was a solo. I thought it was a short solo because often I would say it is. And that solo ends, and at a point I go up to the mic and I sing another verse. And I approached the mic. I started to sing the words to the verse, which was I want to thank you, baby. I want to thank you too. Let's get another drink, just me and you. So I approached the mic to say that, only to discover in the first couple of words that he was still soloing and giving me a look like, what in the fuck are you doing? So I backed off the mic. What the audience heard was me saying the first several words from the next verse. Nothing,
Sure.
No harm, no foul. No one would know that it was all syncopatic. It was in key. It was fine. And they're playing solo, and I do it again. Wrong again. Now I'm getting a look. Now I'm stepping on Jason's solo. They're playing. Then I think it's coming, and I'm wrong for the third time.
Nice.
And they're both soloing together. They're jamming together, and here I'm stepping on it. And then I really step back, and I just let them jam and jam and jam and jam. And then Justin says something, which I think is, sing the last verse, Dennis, on the talk mic, which he presses a button and only we can hear it. And, he's jamming out of the guitar. He said, sing the last verse, Dennis. I get up to the mic, and I had sang it wrong 3 times. Now I couldn't remember it. And so what I sang was something like, No, it was
nice.
On key. It was syncopatic. It was nonsense, and I'm hoping that it's recorded because I might get the award for somebody in the band has the worst made up lyrics. Right now, it belongs to Jason, who deserved it for.
Well, that's hey man, you do what you can, and you do what you do.
So funny, and I just looked at him afterwards. That was the extended version.
Nice.
Oh Lord. I gotta go, bro.
All right.
Well, it's a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear your voice and everything, oh, sounds so cool, and you're so smooth. My Monaquita, my Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa. You're the rhythm in my rhythm, the step in my groove, yeah. And if you said this life ain't good enough, I would change my world to lift you up. I would, it'll never suit your mood because you're so smooth. Oh, and nobody knows. I gotta go, bro.
That's a great album. Peace, bro.
He's coming to Grand Rapids. Santana with the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
I think I probably ought to buy tickets.
Okay, that does it for episode number 278. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/278 with lots of links to some of the stuff we talked about. And you can help support the show at patreon.com/happyhour, where if you donate at the Gin Martinis level, you can look at video of our call and see all my hotel room with its crazy mirrors. See you next week.